evening and welcome to another special edition of the Daily Deuce. I'm Gary Graves from just outside Louisville, Kentucky, and in Maryland. We have Baltimore Orioles fan, New England Patriots fan. Let's see, who else is he a fan of? Well, I'll just leave it to and Notre Dame. Yes, Notre Dame. My good friend, John Webster. How you doing?
Hey, Gary, I'm doing great, man. And thanks for mentioning those three wonderful organizations. I greatly appreciate it. Got another great show here tonight. We got another great guest. But before we get to the guest, John Pitt, how you doing?
Getting excited, man. 1 week away. One
Yep.
week away.
Oh man, look, I got two reasons to be excited for a week away. Sports betting starts here in Kentucky a week from today, and the NFL season starts, man.
Hey, all I'm going to say about betting, you guys are going to learn to keep your money in your pocket one day. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. But
hey, I'm not a big better, but when it comes to NFL, man, there's something about putting money down on those parlays that just gets you geeked up for the season for Sunday. That's John Pitt knows what I'm talking about, right, John?
Sometimes.
Hey, without any further ado, we have another special guest with us this evening. We're going through the NFC East. We've reviewed so far the Dallas Cowboys. We have reviewed so far the Washington Commanders. And tonight, we have with us the Reverend Dr. Jessie Clay, who will go through and review with us the NFC East champions, the NFC champions, and Super Bowl runner-ups, the Philadelphia Eagles. Jessie, thanks for coming on board this evening, man. How you been doing?
I've been doing quite well. I appreciate the opportunity to come on the Daily Deuce. Big fan of the show. Watch it almost every week or most weeks as it comes up. And glad to see Gary, see you, John.
Likewise.
And see the traffic cop.
Mr. Pitt, the one and only.
That's right.
So, Jessie, they had a great year last year. NFC East champions, NFC champions. They go to the Super Bowl. You come back this year. How do you top it? And just let me ask, you've had some key departings and some key signings. How is that going to work, man? How is it going to work? Like on defense, you lost two of your linebackers, you lost two of your starting safeties. How do you make a comeback this year? What are the Eagles going to do, man?
Well, I think this year they're going to probably do the same thing they did last year. I've been looking over at the schedule, and the schedule is a lot tougher than it was last year. Mm-hmm. But we have a team that Howie Roseman put together that has a number of, I would say, players that can rise to the occasion. Now, one of the things that we know about the team so far is that we got a lot of new people who are going to be playing key roles. Some of them are rookies, some of them are second year, third year players. And we're looking forward to really trying to see how they come out of the gate. Fortunately, we play the New England Patriots, who, as far as the AFC is concerned, is not one of the juggernauts. So we start off kind of easy.
Wow. Everybody's coming at me about my Patriots. Everybody's coming at me, man.
Look. I didn't see that one coming.
Oh my goodness. He comes at me. That one right there is Dante said we were talking about the Cowboys. He said New England was the 4th best team in the AFC East. Well, there are only 4 teams in the AFC East. So,
Yeah,
and then for you to come and hit me with, we have a rather easy game to start the season off with the New England Patriots.
Yep, New England Patriots. Now, we played the AFC East, and the AFC East is not an easy division to play against. Even the New England Patriots still got one of the top coaches, and he can still coach them up. So we still have to bring our A game, but if we bring our A game, it may be over early. We have we lost Hargraves
Right.
to the San Francisco 49ers, who been whining ever since we beat them. We knocked out not only one quarterback, we knocked out 2 quarterbacks. And the quarterback they have leading them this year is one of the ones that we knocked out. So we're very anxious to see what they're going to bring to the table. We already understand who the best team in the NFC is going to be, or at least on paper, who the best team in the NFC is. But we're looking forward to playing against the 49ers. We also lost our 2 starting safeties, and I've been watching very closely as to who they have brought in to replace them. And they brought in this guy, Blankenship, who played last year, who intercepted Rodgers, and the first undrafted player to pick him off, matter of fact. So it's going to be pretty interesting. He is already slated as one of the starting safeties, and they have another guy that they're coming in. I can't remember his name, because they've been going back and forth all preseason long, and they haven't named the starter yet. But they have a lot of talented players on the defensive line. It's going to be a crapshoot. I mean, they have some guys on that defensive line is going to create all kinds of problems for offensive coordinators all year long if they stay healthy. And Carter, when he came and dropped into the 10th draft spot in the Eagles, he was the 9th draft spot for the Eagles. The Eagles went up from 10 to 9 to get him. He was slated as the best player in the draft. And so he's going to be starting. We got to see what he's going to do, because you still got to go up against these crafty veterans who have some skills. They've been in the league for a long time. They're in the league for a reason. So we'll see what he can do. But we still got plenty of other guys on that line who can still rock and roll. And I think this year we're going to be stopping the run. And of course, we're going to be getting guys who are going to be rushing the passer like nobody's business. We still got Hassan Reddick, still got BJ, and we got a couple of guys coming in from Alabama and from Georgia who know how to rush the passer as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see just how well we do on defense. I think offense, we're pretty much situated. We still got that fantastic talent on the outside. We have great tight end going across the middle. They picked up this guy named Albert O, who is very, very tough. Came out of Denver. And then we also have Swift, who came from Detroit. And so on offense, we're going to be really, I think the offense is going to be the part of the team that's going to be leading the way. Last year with the defense. I think this year it's going to be the offense. We got Jalen Hurts coming back. He's MVP runner-up. He's come back better than he was last year. If that's possible, I don't know how that is possible. Still got the same legs, but you're going to have a better arm, and it's going to be more accurate. And so it's going to be very interesting to see, what's going to happen. We have to play against the NFC West, and that's they got a few good teams over there. I think the number one team is going to be San Francisco, but the Rams and the rest of those guys, I think they might be in trouble. But our main problem is going to be, as usual, the NFC East, the Cowboys, the Commanders, and the Giants. Now, we've beaten the Giants twice, 3 times last year. We got the Commanders, who we split with, and the Cowboys, who we split with. And, those are very tough teams. We'll be playing them every year, twice and sometimes 3 times, and it's going to be tough. So that's the kind of quick and dirty on what the Eagles are looking like this year. It's going to be everybody in Philadelphia and Philly Nation is excited. They cannot wait because they want to see what's going to happen from week 1 to week 17, and we got we playing the Super Bowl champions in I think that's week 13. We got the 49ers, and of course we got the NFC East, and it's going to be. I'm thinking this year, if I had to say, I'm thinking that we're going to at least win 13 or 14 games if everybody stays healthy. Now, that's a big if. That's a big if. But last year when we went to the Super Bowl, all of our starting units for offense, defense, and special teams were all starting. So we'll see.
Well, I got to jump in and and ask. Well, it's 2 things. In a league where everybody, well, I'll say in a league where nothing is secret, and teams tend to adjust to the next hot thing. How does Jalen Hurts, after the season he had? Well, let me put it to you another way. Did the Eagles peak too soon last year, and now everybody kind of sees what they're doing and will adjust to it? How do the Eagles, keep it new this year?
Well, Sirianni, who is the coach for the Eagles, they're a pretty good coaching outfit. They coach them. They go and they check out themselves to see whether or not they are displaying any tendencies in their play calling. And the RPO is something that Jalen Hurts excels at. But I'm thinking that this year they may do less RPOs and throw the ball downfield more often. And because they have, of course, the 2 guys on the corner, Devontae and AJ, they've been raving over them for, I would say, the entire preseason. Route running for Devontae, a freak of nature for AJ, and then they have Goddard, who is running across the middle, and then they have Swift, they have Petty, they have Boston Scott, and what's the other guy's name? I can't remember his name. He came through. He came on at the end of the in the playoffs as a pass catcher. So they're figuring that they just don't have enough men on defense to really stop them, in the passing game. Of course, if all else breaks down, you still got Jalen able to use his legs, and so that's why I'm thinking, They're not going to have the same scheme as they had last year because they got two new coordinators. One of them that we're like glad he's gone.
I was going to get to that.
Glad he's gone. You know, because when we look at the Super Bowl, he got out coached. They could not stop them in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got out coached. And to us, it seemed to be pretty, elementary. Stop the run. You got the horses to stop the run. Stop the run. Look, we can't take no excuses that the grass was slippery. That can't be your reason.
Nope.
So to answer your question, I think we're going to, we our new coordinators looking at it from a different perspective, and we're not going to really be the same RPO type team as we were last year. They don't want Jalen to really be running as much as he did last year. They rather him throw the ball because they got more weapons, and they're looking forward to seeing how they can implement two new components, Swift and Albert O. This dude, Albert O, is a sleeper. He's 6'5". He's 258 pounds. He runs a 4.340, so he's fast and he can catch. And with him and Goddard in there, it's going to be a beast. Somebody's not going to get the ball.
Mm-hmm. Defensively, well, you alluded to the biggest concern with the team after the Super Bowl. I mean, everybody was piling on the Eagles defense. You alluded to a staff change, but I think probably the most significant that will help, not just in depth, but really in terms of the rotation, was the draft. You took Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith out of Georgia. They're coming off of a national championship. From what I saw in the depth chart, they're both listed second right now, but just looking at what they bring and just letting them get comfortable. I mean, I look at that front seven. Really, I look at that front four as just really, they have the potential to be very, very dangerous and be very, very stingy. With Jalen Carter, how much do you think his off-season situation is going to affect his transition to the NFL? I mean, because it's still kind of hanging over what happened after the championship celebration and the drag racing deal and the death of a staffer and one of his teammates. But how much do you feel like that's going to affect him, in terms of how he might be drawn away from the team?
Well, as you know, the Eagles locker room is stacked with some very strong leadership. And I think that they have placed him under their wing. They gave him a little nickname. They call him Baby Rhino. And they are very, very high on him. And I'm sure that they are schooling him each and every day as to how to handle himself, not only on the football field, but more importantly, as you suggest, off the football field, how you should handle your money, what people that you should be hanging around with, and how do you carry yourself as a professional. And with the likes of Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, who are in his face on a regular basis, and Hassan Reddick as well. They have been, getting in his face and making sure that he's acting like he is a professional and that he's a part of the Eagle team. And they have indicated that he has made a very good adjustment to that. So um, they don't seem to be very concerned about that. And we haven't heard anything. I listen to the Eagle Report every morning and every evening. Listen to the shows from Philadelphia. I read the Philadelphia Inquirer to try to pick up on what's going on.
That's near
And
and dear to my heart, man. You read a newspaper.
yeah, yeah. So they haven't mentioned anything about the fact that they're concerned about Carter and how he's handling himself. Um, Matter of fact, I think that's one of the reasons why they drafted him, because they knew if they brought him on into the Eagles organization, that they would be able to straighten him out. And plus, he got a couple of his boys. They almost calling us the Georgia Eagles.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, Nolan Smith was a great pickup too, and that's
yeah,
it's kind of weird for a contender to draft that strong, but the cards kind of fell in line, and again, I feel like a defense that was strong until the Super Bowl, or I'll say until the second half of the Super Bowl, found a way to address one of its biggest concerns. Of course, like you said, the coaching change was was another one. But I mean, I consider those steals for the Eagles, and that's one of those kind of things where I think it really kind of stocks them and stokes them for a while.
yeah, yeah. But we're looking forward to seeing just how they play. We got championship caliber players in the college ranks on our team, and um, I think that it makes a difference what school you go to and who you play with. Because we had Carson Wentz, who played for a little small school, who seemed to be producing, but then all of a sudden, man, he went left. Couldn't handle it. When Jalen Hurts came on the scene, man, he couldn't. His mind was always spinning, about, okay, now what? Why is he here? Even while he's playing.
Mhm.
And so when you have championship caliber team players who are championships in the college ranks, they know how to win. And those Alabama players, and those Georgia players, they are no joke. They are no joke. They are competing against each other. They're highly competitive. They're competing against each other. And when they get into professional ranks, they're competing with people who know how to compete. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I mean, it's not really about who we play. It's more about how we look as we're playing. Because if say for instance in this first game, and then we play Minnesota after that. Last year when we played Minnesota, we shut Jefferson completely down, and Minnesota looked like they were chopped liver when we finished with them. After that, though, they was rolling. They were beating everybody. But I was checking out the highlights from last year. About Minnesota. They didn't show any Eagle highlights. That's why, because we was beating them down.
Yeah.
So we want to see how we look. Against the first four teams we play. We want to see how we look and get a gauge as to what our altitude might be. They're saying we're going back to the Super Bowl, or that's where we want to go. They're saying that we probably will that we're going to be playing against um, geez, playing against the Super Bowl champs. Yeah, that we're going to be playing against them in the Super Bowl again. You know that it's hard to get back to the Super Bowl. We all know that. Hard to get back to the Super Bowl. But that's what our goal is, to get back to the Super Bowl. But this year, you started off, John, talking about how we're going to top it. The only way that we can top last year's team, no matter how many wins or losses that we have, is that we win the Super Bowl. Now, if we don't win the Super Bowl, well, then, you know, we haven't really done what we're supposed to be doing. So we're looking forward to seeing after these 4 games how do we look? Are we dominant or are we barely making it? Now, last year when we played Detroit for the first game of the season, we won by the skin of our teeth. Jalen Hurts ran in the ball from like the 12-yard line to win the game, and that was a tight game because Swift and the Detroit team, they were slicing and dicing us up big time. So we can't have that. Can't have that happening if we're going to be trying to make it to the Super Bowl or at least to the NFC Championship. You know, this is a big game. Big games coming up. First game is going to be a big game.
You mentioned Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is absolutely one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC. He's definitely the best quarterback in the NFC East, in my opinion. But with every good quarterback, you got to have a strong offensive line. You lost Isaac Seumalo in the offseason. He was a key interior offensive lineman between Kelsey and Johnson. How do you feel that's going to affect you this season? That front five, they're like a glove. They got to be all on the same page.
Well, the guy coming in played last year as well. He didn't start, of course, but he's bigger than him and stronger. Okay. And we're expecting him, you know, to fit in there like a glove as well. You know, we still have our right guard and our center, and these guys are massive. Well, the center's not massive, but he's crafty. He's smart. He knows how to play the game. And this may be his last year, as well as Fletcher Cox, as well as BJ, and you know, and well, I don't think our right guard is going to be his last season, but man, these guys have been playing together for a long time. So on that line, you know, the way that the Eagles actually craft their team, they go from the line out, and so they have quite a few. You know, the 53-man roster, they have like 7 or 8 offensive linemen, 7 or 8 defensive linemen, and so it's they're prepared. And I think that how we said yesterday that they made a mistake last year, and what they did was bring in Sue, and they brought in the boy from New York, and you know, and to bolster her up. This year they said, no, we're not bringing anybody in. We're going to start off with these guys. So the offensive line, I don't really have, you know, offense period. I don't think we have a lot of concerns. I think for the most part we have bolstered what we have on the offensive line. We got backups and guys that can play multiple positions on the line. So if somebody gets hurt, somebody can come in and play. So it's boiling down to put up or shut up. You know, starting with game 1. You know, if we don't beat the Patriots by, you know, say 2 touchdowns, well, it might not. You know, you know, it's a questionable game for us. You know what I mean? So.
You're running back. You brought in DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
did a great job in Detroit last year. You got him there. You lost Miles Sanders. How much of a difference will Swift make, and how much are their styles different?
Well, what they what they have said is that, and I do believe it, is that first of all, Miles Sanders was the main running back. They're not going to do that this year. This year they're going to be having Swift, Scott, the other guy, I can't remember his name, and Petty. They're going to be rotating in. So it's going to be very interesting to see just how they play these guys, because Swift, he's a beast. We saw him up front. He almost literally beat us by himself. After he got past the line, nobody could catch him, that kind of thing. And so we're looking forward to really seeing how he is being fitted into. And guess what? If you got 4 running backs and all 3 or 4 of them are running and playing, you're not going to be wearing them out, so that when they get to the end of the season, they're going to be still cracking.
Yeah. Hey, Gary, Jessie knows the Eagles inside and out, man. What do you think, man?
I'm
learning
something, and probably more about the Eagles than I thought I would from this discussion. But I got to ask you about an intangible, Jessie, and this is something that is near and dear to me and John's heart. Going back to the Kelly Green uniforms, that's got to be huge. And make no mistake. Now, first of all, green is my favorite color. Let's see. Well, I mean, I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. That's just a coincidence. But in going back to the Kelly Green uniforms, I mean, I think that's huge on a number of levels for this team. It's like, my experience covering the NFL, as much as people tolerated the current uniforms, and again, I think the current uniforms are cool, but that throwback and going back to that I mean, you think about Harold Carmichael. I'm trying to think of who else. Ron Jaworski. And I'm trying to think of the one who returned the Pasargic fumble. Was that was that Herm Edwards?
That's Herm Edwards.
Yeah. I mean, it's just you gotta love going back to the old uniforms. The throwbacks. There's just no substitute for a good throwback.
Yeah. Well, Gary, when they said that they were going to come out with the Kelly Green uniforms, okay, everybody got excited. Everybody. And you know what? You would have thought they were tickets to the biggest rock star concert of all time. There's people outside of the Eagles store downtown at 3 o'clock in the morning lined up to get into the store. And the thing is that they never ran out. They never ran out. I mean, they had Kelly Green for everybody, every player, I mean, they had the Hurts, the Devontae, all of them. Everybody had. I mean, it was like, and they put them out there. They had a promo, and the players were styling in the Kelly Green uniforms. I mean, this is even better than when they came out with the black uniforms. Okay, when they came out with the black uniforms, everybody loved them. The Kelly Green is something way beyond. I mean, it's just crazy. I haven't gotten mine yet. I got an old one. Okay, I'm gonna have to buy me a Hertz. so I can sit in front of my TV with it on.
Oh yeah, and I just pulled up the website now. I thought that they were going to be a full-time thing. It says they're going to wear them as alternate uniforms in Week 7 against Miami and Week 12 versus Buffalo. I mean, come on, man. Let's come on, Eagles.
Wear it more often.
Go to them the whole year. Bring
Yeah.
the karma back, man.
Well, they're gonna wear probably the white and the green. They're gonna wear the black on Monday night. Okay, they're gonna wear the black on Monday night, and the Kelly green, the games that you talked about. So they got about 3 or 4 uniforms that they're going to be throwing down on. But that Kelly green is going to be something else.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are they going to bring? Are they going to bring the green helmets with the silver wings too?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Randall used to wear them. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's who I forgot. Yep.
Yeah.
Randall
had to, when he went in against New York on one arm in the end zone.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, hey man, time runs out. We're having so much fun. You forget about how quickly a half hour goes by or more.
Yeah.
Jessie, I mean, I've been enlightened. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Eagles can do to follow up, because I think back on a year ago, and I kind of figured this team was going to be special. They lived up to the expectations. Yeah, they just fell short in the Super Bowl, and they face huge odds in overcoming history this year. But I still feel like they are the team to beat in the NFC East, that the line starts behind them. Before you go, kind of give me, actually, you don't even have to say it, because you did say 12 or 13, maybe 14 wins, which is really saying something.
Yeah. But our competition is a lot stiffer this year than last year. And that's one of the key. We got Buffalo, we have San Fran, we have, of course,
New
NFC
England.
East, New England. And we got the Super Bowl champs. And I think we have Cincinnati as well. We have some tough competition this year. And so we're going to have to bring our A game every game. I didn't mention this. Our only weakness that I think we have is going to be our special teams, which has been a problem. They're trying to shore that up. Special teams, our kicker, they waived him and then brought him back and put him on the practice squad. I don't know what that means, but but a punter, I mean, not a kicker, a punter. But that's that was one of the causes for us to lose a Super Bowl as well, because they ran it down to the 15-yard line, something like that, at the end of the game. I mean, we thought we'd get the ball back and maybe score again, but they ran it down to the 15-yard line and scored. Well, come on, man. Special teams ain't supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be on the Eagles. You ain't supposed to be doing that nonsense. So, so that's one of our issues, Achilles heels that we hopefully they're working on to correct.
All right, but John, take us home and set us up for the next time.
Hey man, this has been great. Excuse me. Having Jessie on here. He's absolutely the best Philadelphia Eagle fan you're ever going to find. Unbelievable. Plus, he's from Philly. And, I need to get a cheesesteak from there too, Jessie. We got to break bread there, get a cheesesteak.
And a tasty cake and some peanut chews, right?
Hey, we can make it work, man. We can make it work. But with what Jessie says, he sees them as coming back this year. He sees the Eagles as repeating. Remember, there has not been a repeat in the NFC East in the last 20 to 25 years. Jesse Clay has said they will repeat. They are the best team in the NFC East. They will go further this year, but they will not win the NFC East. They will finish second. You got to dial in to find out who I'm going to say will finish first. But I tell you right now,
Want to be one team.
let me give you a little bit more. The Dallas Cowboys will either be third or fourth.
Third or fourth. Oh boy!
Wow. Dial it in and hear what else we're going to say. The Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, will be better this year than they were last year, but they will be second in the NFC East when the regular season ends, and they will probably start the season 0-1. But Jesse, with that being said, hey man, we ain't got nothing but love for you, man. This has been great. I mean, when you break a team down, you break them down. Utmost respect for what you say. You know the Eagles inside and out, and yes, they are a great team, and they will be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you for watching us today. Another great Daily Deuce. We got one more NFC review to go. We got to do the New York Giants, and we're going to bring Eli White back to do that review. Take care, everybody. See you real soon. And remember, watch some sports. See you real soon.
All right.